Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode in my makeup rehab series. This is the series where I talk about how much money I'm spending on makeup and beauty products, how much makeup and beauty products I'm using up, all monetarily, because that is my goal for 2019, is to use up more dollar value of products than what I'm bringing in. And I want to keep track of that throughout the year. So that's what we discuss in the first portions of these videos. It's very data heavy, numbers, that sort of thing, but I try and keep it pretty short. And every single month I like to throw in another topic. For example, last month's video, which I can link up in the cards for you, I was defining what a replacement means to me in my particular no-buy, as I feel like it differs from the norm. And today I'm going to be talking about products that are on my wish list, which I feel that a lot of people include in these styles of video, like low buy, updates, makeup rehab, it has many different names. I feel like a lot of people mention the products that are tempting them, so I'm going to take a bit of a twist on that, and I'm going to be talking about products that have been on my wish list for years. So I don't necessarily want you to tell me if they're bad or not worth it, but are they worth purchasing that instead of something newer that has come out, for example. And I mean, we'll talk about more specific examples later in the video. Let me cut this intro short. I like letting you guys know what is included in each video so that if you're not into the numbers, you can skip ahead and then you can find out what are my wish list veterans, what products have been just chilling on my wish list for years and I've never picked up. So that's enough rambling. Let's start talking about the numbers. So in the month of May, I used up $88.78 worth of products. And the only money I spent outside of BoxyCharm was for the Sephora VIB sale, which I can also link my haul up in the eye for you in about a week or so if my scheduling works out. I should have a follow-up to that haul with all of my reviews, but I have a few videos that need to come ahead of that. But I did spend $184.45 on product, and that's not including taxes because I don't include the tax on the products that I used up completely, so I just decided to take that out, and that's different for every state or province or wherever you are from, so excluding taxes. So that means I spent more than I used up for the month of June by $95.65, which isn't great, but I'm looking at this from an annual perspective. So how does that affect my beauty bank? I kind of coined that term. Is that what that's called? I stole that term from Paula, although we are using it for different things. She's calculating items and I'm calculating money, but similar concept. So at the end of April, my beauty bank was in the green by $207.97. Taking away the $95.67 that I'm in the red for the month of May, that leaves me with $112.30 in my beauty bank. So I'm still in the green. I'm still doing good, well on my way to meeting my goals. I'm really happy about that. I was a bit concerned leading up to the VIB sale that all of the money in my beauty bank would just be for nothing. We'd be back to zero and I'll only have the remainder of the year to try and catch up. But $112.30, I'm feeling pretty good about that. I do have 6 products on my list for replacements, and I'm thinking, because I just did a Sephora VIB haul, I think I'm going to go to the drugstore and find replacements there. I've been noticing I very much leaned towards Sephora and high-end makeup purchases, but that's not to say that I don't love drugstore makeup. It's just because I only spoil myself or treat myself every once in a while, that's just immediately where my mind goes, is let's go to Sephora. But I think for the products that I am in need of replacements for, I think I'm going to go to the drugstore. So maybe keep your eye out for that in the coming weeks or a month or so. I don't know when I will be going to blow my beauty bank, but I do have $112.30 to play with. Now I like to talk about how many products entered my collection versus how many left. So I did use up 8 items in the month of May, and 13 items were added into my makeup inventory. So I purchased during the VIB sale. I don't really include my skincare unless it's masks. As well as the products I received in BoxyCharm. So 13 products entered my makeup inventory and 8 items left my beauty collection. So that's pretty good. And now let's talk about makeup specifically. I can see that this has been going on a little longer than I had wanted. So just makeup, that's not including hair care, skincare, body care, any of that. Makeup products, I used up $54.59 worth. I feel really good about that. That is not the highest it's ever been, but I feel like that is a good amount of makeup to use up in a month. And I spent $90.10. So out of the $184.45 that I spent during the VIB sale, $90.10 of that was makeup that was added into my collection. So again, that puts me in the red by $35.51. I know this is really data heavy. I personally really enjoy the numbers. I have a finance degree, so I like seeing how much is coming in, how much is going out, what that means for my beauty bank, that sort of thing. So I hope some of you really enjoyed that. Now let's jump in to talking about my Wishlist Veterans. What products have just been on my wish list for a really long time. I do keep a folder on my phone. There's 102 products in here, and I just continue to add to these. I started this about a year ago, but I tried to go back and add in products that I've been lusting after for a really long time, but I mean, this is not all encompassing, and a lot of the products on here, not all, but a lot of them are high-end ones from Sephora, because I utilized my loves list to start the folder originally. And also, if there's something from the drugstore that I really want, not really this year because of my low buy rules, excuse me, but in years prior, if there's something that really grabbed my attention, I would just go buy it. So that is why there's not a lot of drugstore products on here, but there are a few. So this isn't really in any particular order. I'm not going to be talking about the one that I want the most or anything like that. They're just in the order that they're in on my phone. Wow. First is Becca highlighters. Now I have 3 shades and all of them are too dark for me except for in the summer months. So, and not even June. In July and August and the beginning of September, I'm able to wear Opal, Champagne Pop, and Prosecco Pop. Those are the 3 that I own, and I truly do love them. But I feel like those are the OG highlighters, right? So many new brands have come out with highlighters, perhaps even better formulas. So I particularly have the shades Moonstone and Vanilla Quartz on my wish list. And I don't know why I haven't picked up these shades, but I bought shades like Opal. That's a lie. I do know why, because those are shades that YouTubers I watch often are always using. But almost all of the YouTubers I watch have a deeper skin tone than I do. I would say I'm more similar to skin tone of like Amy Loves Makeup, although I believe she's a bit more cooler toned. I'm a bit more warm toned, but I would always take shade recommendations from YouTubers like Casey Holmes, Kathleen Lights. Those ladies have much deeper skin tones than I do. They don't have deep skin, but You get where I'm going with this. And before I recognized that my skin is fair, before I knew a lot about shade selection, I would buy colors based on their recommendations. So is it worth me going and buying Moonstone and Vanilla Quartz, or let me look towards the top of my wish list here, or should I instead purchase products like the ABH Amrezy highlighter or the Natasha Denona Super Glow highlighter? Like, those are newer formulas that I am also looking at. So do I just forget about Becca? They're both the same price, I believe. So what's a full-size Becca highlight? Like $38 Canadian, and the Natasha Denona is $48. So not that big of a difference. See, this is kind of where I'm going. Is it worth backtracking buying the older product, or should I just forget about it and move on? Next up I have on here, I think I will pick this up eventually still. These are the Tarte Color Splash lipsticks. I have this duo in particular. This has daiquiri and rum punch. I do own, I hope you can see, they're the blue packaging Tarte lipsticks. I do own Beach Babe, which is a gorgeous peachy nude. I love how moisturizing that formula is, and I really wanted to pick up new shades, and I still think I might do that at some stage. And these mini lipsticks are super affordable. This duo was 13 Canadian dollars. So I also have the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-hour full coverage foundation. I do have oily skin with enlarged pores. I'm acne prone. I have a lot of acne spots that need to cover up, but I don't like to look cakey and powdery, and that's my concern with this foundation. I know this is an OG favorite for those people with really oily skin, but other foundations have come out on the market. I'm thinking of the Fenty foundation. I have yet to try that. Cover FX Power Play. Those are the two that I am most keen on in the matte, like full coverage realm of things, but I do still have this on my list to try. Is it worth buying this foundation over Fenty or over Cover FX, or just move on to the newer and potentially better product? I have on here the Tarte highlighter in Stunner, as well as their blush in Exposed on here. I do have two Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes already. I have Feisty and Party, and I really do love the formula. It lasts all day on my skin, even with my oils. They're pretty pigmented, but they're so firmly pressed in the pan, I doubt I will ever get through one. And the newer blushes that I have my eye on, that I would potentially buy the newer one over this Wishlist Veteran, are these Jouer blush bouquets, or the Buxom blushes I really have my eye on as well. So if you have both, which one do you prefer? Let's talk about a few drugstore things. I'm going to start skipping around here a little bit. LA Girl Pro Matte Foundation. Casey Holmes was raving about this. I think she still does occasionally, but I mean, she's constantly trying the newer releases. This is a really affordable matte full coverage foundation, and I really do want to try this, and I think it would be a good drugstore option. Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. I love a good subtle highlight on a day-to-day basis. If I'm just wearing like everyday normal makeup, I really do like a subtle highlighter. I love the Laura Mercier Matte Radiance Highlighter, though that is not cruelty-free. So is this going to be a good budget-friendly, cruelty-free alternative, or is this going to be too deep for my skin tone? I have been wanting to try Juvia's Place palettes forever. They seem to be a favorite, and I just wish they were more accessible to me. I know I can order off of Ulta, but I have to make quite a big order for it to be worth the customs and stuff to get into Canada. And I think the one I'm going to get first is the Masquerade Mini Palette. It has neutrals, it has color. I feel like I would use this one a lot, and get my money's worth or get a good feel for the formula before going for some of the more fun or crazy palettes. Like the Tribe palette, I believe, that's the green one. I think that looks so beautiful, as well as the Deuce palette, the like pinker one. Let's talk about one. I was talking to Steph from It's Just Steph on her recent Shop My Stash. She always brings in an ABH glow kit, and I don't own any. This is the Sugar Glow Kit, I believe, with marshmallow, gumdrop, butterscotch, and starburst. I feel like this would be the best one for my fair skin tone. Don't even know if it's still available, if it was a permanent product. Highlight palettes, like if I'm not going to get use out of at least 3 of the 4 shades, then I'm not going to get it. Maybe what I need to do is go into Sephora and swatch it. Here's another foundation. You can't even see this one because it's mostly white on here. That is, I feel like, an OG that I might really like on my personal skin type, and that is the Milk Makeup Blur Foundation. Not sure how well it will hold up on my oily skin, and again we go back to, is it worth picking that one up over some of the newer popular ones? I don't know, and I'm so indecisive, but I have constantly fallen into the trap of not buying the new releases because I'm like not even really scared of wasting my money, but I always am feeling like I should be catching up on things because I don't spend my money on makeup all of the time. I'm not always buying the new releases, so I let the releases kind of stack up. And instead of buying the newest one, I buy the one that I've been really wanting for the longest, because then I feel like my money is more well spent, but then the list just keeps getting longer, if that makes sense. I have the Too Faced Papa Don't Peach Blush. Do I need another pink peach blush? No, I don't, but the thought that this smells like peaches just keeps drawing me in. Speaking of peach, I still really want the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. Like, why? The Marc Jacobs Tantastic Bronzer. This looks so delicious to me. It is so expensive. And I believe it is in similar tone to the Butter Bronzer. So do I need both? I don't know. I've been eyeing the Fenty bronzers as well. So again, we're going back to, is it worth picking up the older releases, the older formulas? And I don't need you guys to lie to me. I want you to be honest. Tell me which ones are just not worth going back in time to pick up. I'm constantly going to be behind if I'm doing things like that. If you really don't think it's worth my time, then definitely let me know so I can remove them from my wish list and not have to think about them anymore. But those are all that I'm going to share with you today. That was actually quite a lot more than I had originally anticipated sharing. As I mentioned, I have about 100 products on this in this folder in my phone, and maybe in next month's episode I can talk about more recent releases that have my attention, and we can talk about those in more detail as well. But that's it today for my 5th episode in my makeup rehab series. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that I know, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!